Craig Forsyth is still Derby County's best bet for the left-back position, and that is why I've pinpointed Derry Murkin as a player who could potentially take over from Craig Forsyth if Derby County were to make a move for a left-back this upcoming transfer window. Derry Murkin, currently playing at Schalke in the second division in Germany. He could potentially be open to a move back to the England, and that would be a massive deal for Derby County if it is one which they can get done. It's not a player who has been linked, but it's a player in a position where I think Derby County desperately need some extra cover, obviously with the injuries that Callum Elder's suffered. Obviously he's been a good performer, and with Craig Forsyth coming towards the back end of his career, it's certainly a position which I think Derby County need to be looking at. Now, if you have not done so already, make sure you hit that subscribe button and turn on that notification bell to stay tuned for all of my latest Derby County content. Make sure you hit the like button as well and check out Kitbag in the description. But shall we get on to looking at Derry Murkin? Now, who is Derry Murkin? He's a 25-year-old currently playing in Germany for Schalke in the second division over there in Germany. He is English, he's from England. I think he was born in Chelmsford, which obviously makes this deal very, very potentially likely. If an English club was to come in, it could certainly open the door for a player like Derry Murkin to be moving back to his original home. And this is something which I think could be massive for Derby County. 25 years old, he's playing some of the best football in his career, and if he wants to come back to England and wants to make a step potentially towards the Premier League, this is an excellent opportunity for him. Now, playing at Schalke does give him that opportunity to play at the top division in Germany. He's only one division away, and I'm not entirely sure how Schalke are getting on at the moment, but it's an opportunity for him. And for me, do I believe this deal could happen? I think it is a potential deal which could be open for Derry Murkin, but certainly one which is going to cost a chunk of change. Now, if we look at his career, he's played for FC Voldenham for a lot of it. He spent his time with the under-17s, under-19s, 21s, where you can see he's made over 120 odd appearances for Voldenham's youth teams, where he scored over 40 goals, collecting nearly 10 assists. He then went on to play for their senior team, making nearly 100 appearances, scoring 9 times, collecting 23 assists. And since moving to Schalke, he's made 41 appearances, scoring 1 goal, collecting 8 assists. And he's certainly in a position where these moves are going to open up for him now. You look at what Derby County have done for the likes of Lee Buchanan, Archie Brown, and players like Festi Ebosele as well, who have moved on from Derby County. Now, Lee Buchanan's currently playing for Birmingham. You look at Archie Brown, he's got interest from some top Premier League clubs after making his move this summer. Is it a move which is going to happen again? Who knows? And I think it opens the door for Derry Murkin, where he sees that there's a pathway at Derby County for those bigger clubs where they'll take a look. Now, obviously, he's a lot older than those players when they came through the Derby Academy, but Murkin has that opportunity to come in and become the first choice left back for Derby County, and that is what I think will happen. You can see where he's made the majority of his appearances, most of them being over in the Netherlands. 58 in the Kampioen Divisie. He's made 34 in Divisie B, 34 in the Eredivisie, and then obviously a lot of under-19s and under-17 competitions as well. But he's also played in the DFB Pokal. He's made so many appearances, and for his age, I think he's got quite a decent amount of experience. Now, coming over to England, he obviously doesn't have that experience of playing in the English leagues, but across his career, he's got 258 appearances, 19,513 minutes with 55 goals and 40 assists, 23 yellow cards and 1 red. Obviously, that does include a lot of his youth appearances over in the Netherlands. But for someone like Derry Murkin, he's got a ton of experience. He's played at the senior level. He's 25 years old, coming into his prime. He's a perfect age player for what Derby County are searching for over the course of the next few years. And I think he's a player who Paul Warne should be looking at to take over from that Craig Forsyth role that we're currently sort of trying to replace with Callum Elder, but ultimately Callum Elder just doesn't quite have it all. And there's a reason why he dropped down to League One, and there's a reason why I believe Derry Murkin could take that position from him. Now, let's take a look at his positional map, and this is where I think could be excellent for Derby County. He can play all the way along the left-hand side. He can play as a left-back, a left wing-back. He can play as a left winger. He can play with all of those positions. He can also play on the right-hand side, obviously more commonly suited to the left. And that is excellent for me. That's a brilliant opportunity for him to come to Derby County, because we're struggling for wide men, really. And I know people will say we've got 4, 5 who can play in those positions, but ultimately, when you look at those players, Tom Barkhazen isn't getting a sniff. Corey Blackett-Taylor isn't getting a sniff. We really need to replace those options and put in players who are going to get an opportunity from Paul Warne. And ultimately, Derry Murkin could get that opportunity anywhere along that left-hand side. And also, as I was talking about in some previous videos and some upcoming videos that are coming to the channel across the course of December, is we need to be able to have that fluidity to move between a 3 at the back and a 4 at the back. And I think that Derry Murkin would offer that, with that ability to be able to push onto the left wing, the ability to be able to push into the left wing back slot, as well as play left back. I think it opens up that door. Now, you can also see he's made some appearances at centre back and throughout the central of the pitch, with being a second striker, through the holding midfield role, and even a number 8. But for me, obviously, he's most notably for that left-hand side, and that's where I think he'd be for Derby County. Now, to clear it up, you look at the options we've got. Now, obviously, at the moment, Mendez-Laing and Jackson play either side, or Harness will play one side, Mendez-Laing the other. But you look at the options. Blackett-Taylor certainly hasn't lived up to expectations so far. Tom Barkhazen hasn't really had a sniff in the Championship, and Caden Jackson has really gone off the boil recently. So bringing in a player like Derry Murkin, not necessarily to play as a left winger, but to be an extra option in that position, would hopefully push them players on to new heights and push them into better performance windows, or even push them out of Derby County completely. You obviously then look at the left back position, where we currently have Callum Elder and Craig Forsyth, and Callum Elder ultimately has suffered a lot with injuries since joining Derby County, and Craig Forsyth is coming towards the back end of what has been such a up and down career for Craig Forsyth. When he's fit and firing, he is absolutely brilliant, but ultimately the ACL injuries he's had, the leg injuries that he's had as well, have been devastating to his career. In my opinion, he would have gone on to play in the Premier League if it wasn't for those ACL injuries. And for me, it's time now for to look on from Craig Forsyth. And we have this conversation every single year, and it's about time. Not that Forsyth is let go of, because I love Forsyth. I think he's brilliant around the club. Do I think that he'll be at Derby County next season? Probably not. But I think this is the time now where someone like Derry Murkin can be looking to replace Craig Forsyth for the long-term future of Derby County. But in my opinion, I'd love Derby to keep Craig Forsyth in some sort of coaching capacity, whether it be in the academy or within the first team, because I just think he is an excellent, excellent person to have around the football club. And I think he's shown that across the course of this season, last season, even during his injuries, where he didn't kick up a fuss. He just got on with his job and made things happen. Now, how would this deal happen? Now, it says fuzzy replacement. It means fuzzy. Apologies. But it'd have to be a permanent deal. It would have to be. We all know that. And it's a brilliant opportunity to replace Craig Forsyth. Is it one which you think Derby County can get done? Let me know your thoughts down in the comments. I certainly think this is an opportunity for Derby County. Now, obviously, Craig Forsyth is coming towards the back end of his career. Callum Elder is struggling a lot with injuries over the course of his 18-month spell so far. But will Derry Murkin want to move back to England? Will he want to move to Derby County? The facilities are obviously excellent, but we have to see what Derby County and Paul Warne can put together to potentially bring in this player. He's not been linked, but he is a player who I think Derby County should be looking at for that position. So let me know your thoughts down in the comments. Hit that subscribe button and turn on that notification bell. If you have not done so already, hit the like button as well, and let me know your thoughts in the comments, and I'll catch you in the next one.